Hello guys, this is Base. I did tell you all that the last update was the chill one. Since then, we basically got the announcement of the next Ian collab being the Persona 5 one. For some reason, it's probably because of 30th anniversary and all that, but that gets its own video in like late September, early October. So, as a byproduct, they're probably looking forward to speeding things up once more based on this update, or it could just be the normal BS of releasing a Meta Memoria as early as they can that they have been doing repeatedly with Meta Memorias this year. So, nonetheless, without further ado, let's get started. Starting from August 21st, we'll have a new side story event focusing on Vri-chan that is on the Incompleteness That Connects X event. Honestly, just expect typical 31X shenanigans. Now for the freebies, we'll have two login bonus. The first being the Autumn Harvest login bonus number 1, which for the first day you get 1500 quartz. Then for the next 10 days are 10 tickets for 1 SS guaranteed 10 pool, which is pretty great. The next two are gonna start on August 28th. So a week later, the second login bonus is the Garden of Thunderstrike's release celebration login bonus, where for 5 days you can get a total of 10 Memoria premium coupons. This is enough to exchange in the suppression mission shop basically for a base or non-limited S1 Memoria of your choice. And next is the collaboration teaser campaign limited time mission phase 2, which if you complete the missions you can get 5 S or above guaranteed recruitment tickets and 2 collaboration teaser 10 roll recruitment tickets. The latter is basically a 10 pool to a ticket banner even if its pool is up to the Aina and Mari banner. And lastly is the Autumn Harvest login recruitment. Basically free daily 1 pool, which is fantastic. And as always, hope you all get lucky to manage to get an SS or SSR in one of those pools. Now for the gameplay side of things, first one I have to talk about is the limited time dungeon, specifically the Garden of Thunderstrikes. This dungeon has the best ring accessory in the game, the Thunderbolt ring, which is technically for Thunder Memorias, obviously with the Thunder skill attack increase, but since it's the first of its type, got it some slack because the other elements will appear later on. The most important thing here is the significant stat increase compared to maxing any other ring accessory, whether its main focus either on the strength or dexterity side, plus a random third stat if you use synthesis on it. The dungeon, to my knowledge, only gives plus 3 at its maximum, so a lot of grind to do to get a plus 6 and even more than that to get multiple plus 6 through synthesis. But I'm telling you all, especially for your DPS or DPS adjacent Memorias, that strength and dexterity stat increase is worth the item to level 6. So it's very much worth it to drain all your dungeon passes, even the extra quartz, for this one dungeon. And yeah. Next is score attack. I mean challenge. Oh wait, it's actually 2 score attacks for this update. The first being number 48, Viscoelastic Contaminant, and a week later, score challenge number 49, Indomitable Heart. Both score attacks are only running for a 1 week each. Once again, as usual, here on screen are the multiplier conditions for the next 2 weeks of score attack. My tips for both is that for number 48, compared to previous bosses, this one ain't as bad, albeit one of its skill increases the SP cost of your skills for 2 turns and has defense down, only remove during downturn. But other than that, if you have a blaster that spams DR damage especially, you should be okay. Number 49 is the most troublesome one because the first condition is your front line getting SP reduction per turn, as well as the boss having a skill that blocks your highest DP Memoria from using their skills. So you really need to play around those two annoying downsides to overcome it, and I wish you luck on that. Now we get to the banners, and it's 2 new banners within SS and 2 SSR Memorias. First, let's start with the banner that came in the event, and unfortunately, Intern Kun has made a mistake again as this isn't Yusin Yuina. This is SS from Annapurna with Love Vritrika, who is an Ice Crush healer that specializes in multi-battle content like dungeons. Why though? It's mainly because of her EX passive skill that fully restores skill use for every Ice Memoria only after every battle win, albeit even if it excludes recovery skills themselves. So, if you run a dungeon hell, even Seraph encounter drill at the highest case with an ice team, you can often spam your limited skills with this passive, as it is really helpful. Now, her actual EX skill at 13 SP but usable at 0 SP, as all 31X EX skills are, gives your entire party a permanent Kare buff. Now, what is this buff? Basically, it gives you 50% skill damage up and recovers your DP by 10% of the damage dealt. Think of this buff as an alternative slash weaker in some ways version of the debuff buff. But it's categorized as another buff entirely, so it's stackable with other kinds of buffs. Anyways, the other effects of this EX skill is that it also gives your entire party a 3-turn defense up plus 3 SP to other Ice Memorias, only excluding herself. Now her passives. She has two LB0 passives. Number one is that after every battle win, she recovers 100% of your party's DP. So she basically resets your DP as well after every win. LB0 passive 2, on the other hand, with the condition of having 4 or more Ice Memorias in your party, she can give permanent party defense up. Her LB1 passive is different, where she's a SP battery because if she's in the front line, she gives your frontline Memorias plus 1 SP per turn if they are Ice Memorias themselves, and LB3 adds another plus 3 SP to your entire party if they are Ice Memorias after every battle win. Overall, this Memoria is the very definition of an Ice Memoria built for farming. The downside is that you need a full-on ice team surrounding her to get her full benefits. That and also putting her in multi-clear battles, and the highest form of content you can take her with where you can use her effectively is Seraph Encounter Drill. So nice Memoria to have if you love to play a bunch of those content, but it's not safe for the future. Next is SSR Have No Fear, the hero is here. Carol Reaper, or White Suit Carol, was a thunder slash single target attacker built around hitting the enemy during downturns, as her EX skill at 17 SP, also usable at 0 SP and above, is a one-hit thunder single target slash attack with a 50% HP modifier. She's a downturn focused DPS because this skill also gives plus 40% more damage when the enemy is in a downturn state. Her non-EX skill at 8 SP gives herself 3-turn Self-Mind Eye, and that's it for the EN version for now. Because from the recent 4.5 anniversary in JP, this skill adds an AoE cover, basically allows her to tank even AoE attacks to just herself, like she's a defender or something. Now her passives. LB0 gives a 1-turn self-critical damage up when an enemy is in a down state, and LB3, same condition as LB0, also adds 1-turn self-attack up. The specific potency is 50% on release, 100% when Ian gets the JP 4.5 anniversary update. Overall, she's a great Thunder DPS, especially if you know the right time to use her, but the Thunder DPS roster is quite overcrowded, whether it's Maid Aoi, Santa Puvuki, and even the future Shirekan Memoria. She has tough competition that while she's a good alternative, she is at best a so-so for the future. Now the next banner, and for Bungo, Pancret, and Dark teams, this is the next Meta Memoria. What's that? Ja, jara, jara, ra, 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 jara, ra, 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 ja, ja. SSR Triumph of the Demon Lord Yamawaki Vonivar, or Yinsenwaki, was a dark slash attacker support hybrid that basically raises the bar of what is Penkrit. Before talking about her actual skills, one of her LB0 passive is basically a no-cost active skill that gives 1-turn AoE Fear of the Demon King, basically a minus 100% stat to the enemy's skill, similar to Hacker Yuki's debuff, plus a 6-hit Penkrit AoE attack that even counts as damage on any E-shields, regardless of any attributes. Even if it's only 3 uses, this skill is genuinely insane. Not to mention, she has 2 EX skills. The first being at 6 SP, except herself, applies the permanent Waki buff to one ally. Once again, This buff increases weakness damage dealt by 40%. On top of that, said ally gets plus 4 SP while she grants herself an extra turn. Then her ridiculously dark DPS EX skill at 0 SP straight up, but the condition here is that it's for use only and needs your entire party to have the Waki buff. Gives herself the hit count buff before needing a 10 hit dark AoE slash attack. So in short, that passive is incredibly useful for general debuffing skill. The first EX skill is a great skill for the Bungo team, and the second EX skill basically makes her one of the best dark DPS in the game. She was the best until Unison Ichigo released, but that's quite literally the latest Memoria in JP right now. So yeah. Now her passives, which I'm saying right now, if you run and dedicated yourself to a Bungo team, Limit Break 4 is legitimately a recommendation. Now the first one, as the previous passive was the second, is basically giving herself the Servant of Yamwaki buff or Waki buff, the same as her demonic squad mates LB0 passives. Then LB1 gives plus 1 SP to your entire party every turn if all of the units has the Waki buff. Next, her LB3 passive gives 1 turn party attack up if someone attacks with a skill equal to or less than 8 SP. So Bungo half cost EX skill does the trick. And lastly, LB4 gives a full 1 OD gauge if everyone has the Waki buff. One time only, of course. So combine that with Bungo's own version, max Waki buff equals 2 OD gauge easily. Now, overall, she pairs insanely well with Unison Bungo and the team surrounding them, but she really is the other half of that team that give DPS, debuffs, as well as OD and SV battery capabilities. She is absolutely safe for the future and gets a high recommendation from me if you use Bungo, Bankrit, and Dark teams. From an elemental perspective, Ritrika is a farming ice Memoria who's extremely niche that while nice to have, only worth it as an off-rate pool. Meanwhile, Caro is a great on her DPS but somewhat overshadowed by her competition, past or future Memorias included, even with the buff in the 4.5 anniversary. So for this banner, I just wouldn't recommend the banner at all. Unison Waki, on the other hand, is the closest we have gotten to a near universal Memoria since like Unison Karen. While she is dark leaning, her versatility and frankly ease of use makes her undoubtedly one of the best Memorias to pull if you run the teams I mentioned like 10 seconds ago. Though as always, if you love the characters, their artworks, or want their specific abilities, feel free to ignore my advice and pull for them. This update also has a rerun banner, which is Unison Yuki. In short, every time she reruns, the more she falls off by a more advanced Memoria. That while she's still safe for the next few months, said new Memorias are closing in, so I don't recommend pulling on her unless you're really desperate for a stat down debuffer right now. And even then, you can just pull Yunsen Waki right there. And yeah. The last banners I have to mention are the Autumn Harvest 5 stat selection recruitment and the paid course exclusive Autumn Harvest wishlist recruitment, which are both skips. And yeah, that's it in the video, I guess. Please subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos, share this with friend and watch these 2 6 here. So yeah, see you next time. Bye!